Climacophobia, the fear of climbing stairs. It's surprising there's a term for it, but if you have chronic hip pain, it's easy to relate to. But you shouldn't have to. At the Cedars-Sinai Orthopedic Center, our minimally invasive techniques allow many patients to go back home within 24 hours and get back to everyday tasks like walking up the stairs. More reasons to trust the #1 hospital in LA for joint replacements. Call 1-800-CEDARS-1 or visit our website.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 90 Degree Show, hosted by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. And here's your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
Good evening and welcome to the 90 Degree Show. I'm your host, Joe Beard, and happy to be of service for you tonight. Today is January 31st, 2016. Welcome. Happy New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo, and all of that good stuff. Welcome to the show tonight. Happy to be here. Happy to be of service for you tonight, like I say. 2016, welcome. I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody survived. It's all good. Welcome to all of those. This may be your first time listening. We appreciate that. If you're listening in podcast form, whether through iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, our website, Facebook, Twitter, or wherever you are on the interwebs this evening, if you appreciate the show and we appreciate what you are listening to, then we appreciate a donation to the network if you feel so in your heart, of course. Just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund. All right. Turn down the music some a little bit. Thanks again for all those who may be listening. I know I have someone here in the booth or in the queue, and our chat room is open as well. Let me see who we have here tonight in the queue. Is this Christy or this Rashad?
This is Christy. How you doing?
Christy Walker. What's going on, Christy Walker? How you doing this evening?
I'm kind of trying to pull it together so I can make it to work tomorrow.
I know you look like you had a good time this weekend.
Yeah, you sure were missed.
I miss y'all. I had just prayed and breathed and did all the stuff so I could get over it, but then like yesterday came and I got attitude. But I'm happy to say I am on Periscope, and you made me laugh really good, really well, so I felt better on Periscope.
Okay,
Shout out to all the folks on Periscope. Check out Christy Walker and the Sky-Fi box. That is.
Yes. Christy 5Q on Periscope.
Yes. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. But I mean, the thing really that put it all together for me, Christy Walker, Atlanta Falcons hand soap. I was just like, wow. Like,
yeah, I forgot about that actually.
Oh, I was like, wow, you can't get no better than that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was posh. You know how we do. You know how we do, Joe. Oh, no, my bad. You don't know how we do because you were not there, sir.
But I had the Periscope, so I understand. You got the food. The food was popping. Like you said, it had the steam.
Yes. Yep, we got to make it do what it do.
And cutlery. Not plates, or not paper.
Not paper, not plastic, actual cutlery. Yes, that's how we do it in the skybox, in the fifth quarter skybox. Yes. I
mean, that was an open commercial for all the people who actually want to attend the Battle of the Bands. You got to go there.
Yeah.
Got to
I mean, I'm telling you, like, I was telling some new people that this was their first time. I was like, and this was before the event started. I was like, once you go box, you never go back. And
that's real.
As sure as the Battle of the Bands happened at the end, they were like, Christy, I'm never gonna watch the Battle of the Bands in a regular seat again. Never, ever. The fact that you can just like stretch your legs, that's just awesome. Yeah.
I really like, and then really, I mean, I laughed about the bathroom, but that was hugely convenient to have that nice of a bathroom, like in a place, in a spot like that. Because I mean, dudes, I mean, it's kind of like, like kind of whatever, but for females, that was really, really nice. So
yes.
I mean, I definitely, let's see how it turns out, but I definitely, I had to give you a round of applause. Because I'm trying to play a Sky Fi Box. I'm trying to play.
Yes, you're trying to go online. Yeah, we had the youngest member of Sky Fi Box cross yesterday. Yes, all of 1 year old. Yes.
So yeah, let me know if you have any smokers or anytime so I can show up. So I could be out, so I can holler at the bros. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? We got an interest meeting coming up. Let's see. It'll probably be around September or October of this year. So just hold on tight. Get your stuff together. Get your coins together, because
Because that's what it's about.
Yep. So but a good time was had by all. I mean, I had fun. I'm tired as all get out. When I woke up this morning, I mean, I didn't set my alarm clock or anything because I knew what the deal was. I knew I was going to sleep in. But then I woke up and I was like, Lord, I'm sore. I can't go get around like I used to. I was like, darn,
right.
I feel old. But I mean, that was the sign of a good time. So it was really good. And I mean, I know you're probably going to ask about this later, but I mean, I think this is one of the few Battle of the Bands this particular year where I had absolutely no expectation. I mean, it's always been about the fellowship to me. Like it hasn't been really about the bands for me for a long time, just because, I have my people that I get with, and I see them once a year, and we kick it, and, people, I get with my SAI sisters and Find Me Alpha brothers and all this, and it's really been about the camaraderie, but this year I think I really did not have a whole lot of expectations with the bands, and that wasn't, I mean, that's not usually what I'm used to. So, I mean, I thought it ended up being a good thing because I didn't have any expectations. So when I saw some really good bands out there, I was like, okay, well, I'm very pleased. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. That's actually outstanding. I enjoyed, what I saw, and I heard a lot of good things from my peoples. So I was like, I definitely have to check it out. So, definitely really, really looking forward, hopefully, to being out there next year. And it's good that you said that, too, because that's just something else where we can combine and be together about. I think that's, like you said, the fellowship part is really, really what's important. Like you say, look like you had fun. Y'all had some signs. Slaw sign.
Yes.
I had a burger sign? What was that? I couldn't
No.
see
Fish sandwich. It wasn't a burger. It was a fish sandwich. So,
yeah.
What, fish
did you break that
sandwich
down to me?
at best.
What's fish sandwich?
Okay, it's kind of like at that level between like lukewarm and bad. So, when you describe something, it's just like tepid, I guess. It's fish sandwichy. It's just not quite right. And so when a band is doing something, we'll say, oh, y'all just fish sandwichy, And then, I started saying fish sandwichy at best, and it started to kind of spread there amongst my friends, and so that's where the fish sandwich came from.
That's what's up. Because I had to get broken down. I was like, is that burger? It's like, it ain't got no beef. Like, I couldn't really see the picture.
Yeah, it was like a Filet-O-Fish sandwich that's been sitting out too long and the tartar sauce goes rancid. So, you know.
Okay, all right. Well, we have our other expert, the great, one and only owner and founder of the Block Band Music. Got the good upcoming for Black History Month bundle, so y'all need to holler at that. Check that out. The man himself, Rashad Waters. What's going on tonight, Rashad? Happy New Year, y'all.
Thank you. Happy New Year. So glad to be back on the show here. So without further ado, Christy, have you gotten on Joe's case yet?
Oh yes, but you can still join in. You can still join in.
Yeah, right. Joe said that. Joe, you sent us a text message a week ago talking about, I'm not going to be able to make it. Now, you know good and well, if Christy and I sent a message, that makes sense because we're within driving distance of Georgia. So, we get something came up, we get it. But you flying, so you know good and well the last time that we talked to you, you weren't coming to no Honda.
Well, I wasn't sure because I thought I was going to be able to weasel out of what I was going to be able to, what I had to do. You know
what,
Joe? But you ain't buying no plane ticket.
Well, no, I was waiting to buy the plane ticket because they're not that expensive. Like, between LAX and Atlanta, I was like, okay, that's not that bad. Like, so I was like, okay, I could do it maybe last second-ish. But then they was like, oh, yes, brothers, the 30th. Oh, yeah, you going to be busy. And I was like, okay, yeah, well, I have to
what, though?
Yeah.
You know what, though? Excuses are tools of the incompetent. You would think the bros would tell you that, would teach you that. The bros,
I tried. I really did.
All I know is that you missed out on Jackson State, and we're going to talk about them today. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that was the part where I was just like, man, like, because I was so concerned about, like, just trying to get there to be in there. And shout out to Cortez, shout out to Karamu, shout out to bro, Karamu, shout out to bro. Shout out to them. They threw a party that night, and I was like, damn, I want to go. I'm like, really wanted to go. So then people was, like, FaceTiming me, and I was just like, yeah, I miss y'all. And then Saturday, I had an attitude, boy. Like, it was just not good. And then I heard, like, the good news. People said they showed up, they did well. I mean, that helped the situation. But, yeah, I definitely had to check my attitude because, like, I'm a teacher's assistant at this technical course. So I have to, like, go around and help people and just was not feeling it, if you know what I mean. Especially if a certain demographic already gets on my nerves. I really wasn't in the mood for helping them. I was just like, oh, man, I got to check myself. I got to take a deep breath. But
there was slamming books on the ground.
Yeah. And it didn't help. I saw the slaw and the fish sandwich picture. I laughed, but I was like, okay, yeah, damn. And, so I'm glad to talk to y'all tonight because it makes things a little bit better, So I do want to go ahead and pay the bills and let our beloved sponsors in for a wonderful year of 2016. I definitely want to holler at you, Rashad. I definitely talk offline. And to all our sponsors, if you're interested in being a sponsor, you will have a lot of things interesting coming up this year we're really excited about. So we want to let everyone, you in the car, Rashad? I got somebody in the back.
What?
Are you in the car? Are you coming? Are you driving back to North Carolina?
Yes, I am. You can hear her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, baby.
He said, hey, baby.
They can hear you on the radio.
Hey,
sorry about that, Joe.
That's all good. I like that, hey, baby.
Ain't nothing. I'm just getting fussed at as usual.
Yeah.
Right. That's what's up, man. So you guys, thank you so much for being on the show. We'll go ahead and I'm going to mute your guys' microphones so we can go ahead and hear from other beloved sponsors, and then we'll get the show rolling. Thanks again for all those who listen. Might be the first time listening. Had a really good show, really good turnout, really, really good, and we'll get into all of that tonight. Tonight's show is brought to you by Showtime Web on YouTube. Got a little bit from Ricky Garza on YouTube. And the one and only Christy Walker herself on Periscope and the Sky-Fi Box. I'm trying to pledge. I'm trying to be out, y'all. I'm telling the world, Skyfire Box. And again, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor or a patron to the Marching Podcast, please contact us, and we will let you know and give you the criteria so we can start to pub your business using our platform, okay? So let's go ahead and take the time to hear from those people who've taken advantage of that. Tonight's show is brought to you by Liquid Effects Photography, to Edge One Productions, Block Band Music and Publishing, Bandhead.org, HBCUbands.com, and Double Time Entertainment. Let's take the time to hear from them now.
Hi, this is Thaddeus Dixon, Crab of 94 on the Sonic Boom of the South, graduate of Jackson State University, class of 2000. And you are listening to the 90 Degrees Show at the Marching Podcast Network.
Having an anniversary party, birthday party, or better yet, you're about to marry that special someone? Liquid Effects Photography is the perfect choice to immortalize all your most special moments. With 10 years of dependable professional service that can deliver from the conventional to the best in cutting-edge technology and creativity. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. We serve the entire upper Midwest and will travel further upon request. Come check us out at liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Or call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556.
Double Time Entertainment. Our passion is music and promoting HBCU marching bands as well as high school marching bands through high-quality movie videos and photos. We have worked with BET, Yamaha, Ludwig, Honda Motor Company, and been featured on CNN and Lifetime Network's series Bama State Style. We also help and orchestrate Battle of the Bands with marketing and promotions, and also became the official media team for the Queen City Battle of the Bands in Charlotte, North Carolina. Join Double Time Entertainment on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and now new on Periscope. Music lovers are noteworthy.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to dance footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Chopping It Up is a podcast of one-on-one interviews with positive role models that have a connection through music and or education. Chopping It Up is all about inspiring our youth for a great future and providing a roadmap on how to get there. We also chop it up to give insight to anyone looking for information or hope in their endeavors. Chop it up with us on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com/marchingpodcast. Chopping It Up, changing the world through positive interaction.
Hey, this your girl Casey Nesbitt, 2000 graduate of Jackson State University.
Crab of 1996 of the Sonic Boom of the South, 2002 graduate of North Carolina Agriculture and Technical State University, Aggie Pride, also a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Fall 1997 Delta Pi Chapter, and you're listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
All right, 718-664-6025. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show here, talking about the 2016 Honda Battle of the Bands here with Christy Walker and Rashad Waters. You're listening to Prairie View A&M, bringing us back from the break. Prairie View was one of the bands there this weekend as I unmute the microphones. It was a really good turnout. Just wanted to throw that out there a little bit. Shout out to Robert Bratcher, who's the social media director there at Block Band Music and Publishing. Gave me some shout out. He put out some information, said that Honda was saying about 63,000 people were in attendance, and that they supported over $200,000 in grants. So definitely something. All right. Yeah, we could give a round of applause about. I'll post the story here if we get a chance. I'll try to post it here in the chat room. But really exciting. I'm definitely put it on my Facebook page. And go ahead and follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is hot. The Marching Podcast on Twitter is like hot for 2016. So you guys follow us. A whole lot of information coming out there on the Twitter. And we'll definitely tweet that information out. Hashtag HBOB was, it was popping yesterday. I was on there. Some folks was talking about. And shout out to Campus Insider. Let me go ahead and hit this applause button again. Really good. Really good. It looked good on my phone. I was there at University of California, Riverside. That's the assignment I was on yesterday. And, you were
being mad, and you were mad.
Well, I wasn't mad there. I was, mad before I got there. But once I stepped on the campus, I was, zeroed in to my job. I mean, I was, on point. Just unbelievable performance.
Your boss must be listening to this.
Well, just in case. Maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was, I saw it on my phone. I had my break. I was like, Dad, that looks really cool. ESPN was covering the actual event, so I was really proud about that. So I thought about you guys, but yeah, it was really cool. So I was happy. I saw some of Lincoln's performance, and thanks to you, Christy, on the Periscope, I got to see some of South Carolina State's performance, and a couple of other ones. I just got to see it in between my breaks before I got to come home yesterday and see everything. So it's really cool. So shout out to everybody, if you will. Another round of applause. Really positive day. Nothing bad happened. Not really, but it was great. It was great. So we'll get right into it, and I always like to let the people who really know what they're talking about talk first. So I will let the great Christy Walker. I guess you could give the rundown of what you thought. Yes, or of the event, and yeah, you can say if anything was there happening there at the event or whatever you feel like you want to let us know. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you the floor.
Well, okay. Well, I was saying a little bit earlier, this is one of the first Battle of the Bands that I had zero expectations. I mean, I didn't have good expectations. I didn't have bad expectations. I just knew that I wanted to come there, and I knew I wanted to see my friends that I haven't seen in a while, and I knew we were going to fellowship and cut up in the box, which we did. So, I'm not going to give you a rundown like Rashad would, because first of all, I was hosting, so my attention was not 100% on every nuance of the show. I'll just be like the big.
Is that A&T wasn't there?
Oh.
Okay.
Played that for you real quick.
What though? But you know what though? When's Hampton coming?
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Got a new director, so it might be any time now. Anytime now. Might be 2017.
Whatever, Rashad. Anyway, you know what? You stay hating. You can't be a hater all your life. Anyway, so Lincoln, Pennsylvania, they were the first band up. Oh, and I'm probably not going to get this order right, okay? So.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all good.
Yeah, but I know Lincoln was up next. I mean, they were the first ones. And so they were good. I just thought they were really small. And, here's my thing. The announcers can make or break you, and I found that out during yesterday's, or I realized it even more during yesterday's battle, because I know Lincoln's announcer. He's been a long time fifth quarter reader, and I know him. I've interacted with him before, and I thought he did a really good job as an announcer. Some of these other announcers, though, for these other bands, not so much. Some were talking so much that you couldn't even hardly hear the band. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. People, some of them were on 10 yesterday. But Lincoln, I thought they had a good start. I mean, they didn't. When I say this is going to sound bad, but I really don't mean it. I wasn't expecting them to be that good, but they really, I think they really did a good job. I'm telling you, I didn't know if they were going to just be really, really, really bad, and they weren't. So right. I mean, that's the one band that I have not, out of everybody, that I had not seen in person. So I had no expectations on them. They fulfilled it. I'm just going to tell you who I thought who I was most entertained by. 3 bands, and I gotta say, the SWAC represented. I'm gonna say it was Jackson. I'm gonna say it was Alcorn. I'm gonna say it was Alabama A&M. Those 3 bands basically gave me what I wanted, and I feel like made the lineup worthwhile. So, they had the sound, they were cranking, they had the energy, and all that. And, let me go back to Lincoln really quick. I like the fact that Lincoln brought out Music Soul Child, but it started to feel like it was about to be a Music Soul Child concert. Because, I mean, okay, I can understand you do a medley of your songs. I understand that, and you have your guests sing. But I was like, darn, how many Music Soul Child songs y'all gonna do? Darn. Is this a concert that I didn't know about? Was he the special guest?
In the band.
Say what now?
I said not to mention that his mic was louder than the band.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that.
Maybe that was it. And so, I was like, okay, is he the special guest along with Ludacris? I mean, what's going on? Anyway, but those 3 SWAC bands, I think they really did a good job. I was thoroughly entertained by them. South Carolina State, okay, yeah, I'm an Aggie, so you're going to say I'm hating, but they didn't, let's just say I held up the fish sandwich song when they were on. But I'm even gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because they have a new director. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But next year, if they look and sound like they do, what else? Let's see what else. Bethune Cookman, honestly, so I was meeting a friend that I hadn't seen in several years, and I knew to text him and say, okay, well, I knew to text him when Bethune Cookman was up because I knew I was going to be totally bored. So I was like, well, let me text my buddy and invite him up to the suite because Bethune Cookman's on. And you know what? Apparently I missed them playing Shame by Tyrese, but absolutely nothing else. And, my suspicion was right. unfortunately. Yeah, so those Tennessee State, I guess they were somewhere along the middle to me. Like they weren't really memorable. What they did was not memorable at all. The things that I'm going to take away from the event was that, you know, Lincoln, okay, they represented for their first time. I'm not hating. Alcorn, Jackson, and Alabama A&M, they gave me what I wanted. Tennessee State was somewhere in the middle. Who else am I? South Carolina State, Bethune Cookman was fish sandwich at best.
Prairie View.
Oh, Prairie View. Prairie View was somewhere in the middle too. Like I would put Prairie View just a smidge over Tennessee State. Just a smidge over them, but yeah, that's how it was for me. And you know how we do during this show. You know, Rashad, he usually says something that it reminds me of something else that I wanted to say, but that's my overall band head's view on it.
What about Alabama A&M?
I like their sound. Like I've been saying this all year. I really like their sound. I think they're very musical. So that's what got me. Like the selections that they played, and I mean I just like their overall sound this year. So.
Okay, that's what's up. I will pass it to you, Rashad, and like you say, I'm sure it'll toggle something with Christy. What Christy said, I do want to say that music soul child thing. That was the main thing that jumped out at me. Was like he was like louder. It seemed like he was louder than the band. And then Rashad knows how I feel. You bringing somebody singing out there. I was just like, oh, brother.
Yeah, me too. Oh, there's one last thing I want to say. I don't mind. I actually don't mind, even though it's not my favorite thing, but I don't mind it when, like, a soloist, like an instrumental soloist plays along with the band. I don't like it when it's staff. I like it when it's a student, a band member that comes out in the front and does like the sax solo or the trumpet solo or whatever. What I don't like is when random faculty or staff member comes. I mean, I just feel like, of course you're going to sound good. You are faculty or staff. Like, I just feel like that's a cop-out, and I'm just not a fan.
What about if they put two trumpets in their mouth and play at the same time? What about if they do that?
What's your problem, Joe?
I'm sorry. I thought if I said it like that, it would, get more exciting. But what do you think if even if he was triple tonguing, like to this, like he was nothing for you there?
No, because I feel like that's a gimmick. I mean, it's one thing if you remember the program, and this is my opinion. It's one thing if you are a member of that program, like you are a junior or senior, whatever year you are, playing in that program, and then you just step out in front. But, of course, the staff member is going to say, you know what, I just think it's a cop-out. I feel like it's a gimmick.
It's kind of like, what if the coach of the Clippers just comes out in the middle of halftime and just dunks the basketball real quick? Like, oh, that was cool. You're not going to win the game with that, though.
Right.
Right.
That's a good point. I mean, well, hey, I agree with you. I mean, I don't like nothing like that. But that was something I actually had in my little write-up, Chrissy, is that I don't mind it when it's a student, getting their little shine. Maybe they wrote the piece, or there was, for some reason, they had that student come out and play in front of the band. So that's cool to me, too, because, they focusing on the student. But definitely, you bring Music Soul Child, or Grammy Award-winning nominee. And the brother was excited, wasn't he? He was like, I know y'all don't know who he is right now. I was like, well, so, but go ahead, Rashad. I definitely want to hear what you thought about it, man.
All right. So let's get really down deep real quick, and I'm going to fill people in like I always do with the information that you didn't know. So here's something that a lot of people have been thinking about. Okay. Here's on one side, which is like 63,000 people at the Honda, right?
Lord, okay. I know what's coming.
You know what's coming. Okay, but why is it that when you watch the videos, why are there so many empty seats? Prune Juice has got the insider for you. what was going on, as far as I understand, is that when people purchase their tickets online, that the tickets did not have the barcode on them. This is what I understand. And because the tickets did not have the barcode on them, a lot of people could not get into the stadium. They had to go to will call in order to print out their tickets. Now, real talk, Shay and I got there probably about 2:30, and the parking was terrible. It took us forever to find a parking spot. You know, so I really was in line at 3 o'clock, so there was no way I could have caught the very beginning. But I was literally in line at will call, not at general admission. I already purchased my tickets. I was literally in line.
I left the tickets I had them leave the tickets at will call when Rashad signed up to be in the box.
Mhm. I literally stood in line over an hour and 15 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there were literally 1,000 people or more around me, and by the time I got my tickets and turned back around, I'm not exaggerating here. There were at least 1,000 people still in line, and this is at closing in on 5 o'clock at this point. We did not get into the suite until sometime after 5 o'clock, and the event ended like 6:30.
And I texted Rashad. I was like, where are you? Because he wasn't the only one. It was like Rashad, Shay, and then like 2 other people that had signed up. And I'm like, where the heck are y'all? And then when he texted me that, I was like, oh, my God. The Georgia Dome, they really ticked me off over some things. But go ahead, Rashad.
Yeah, so that was terrible. And they may be giving some people some refunds. I mean, because I'm sure that there are people that simply did not get in before the event was over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it's not like the line was moving fast. It's not like the line was exceptionally fast. I would say when I got in line, there's probably about 30 people in front of me. 30 people should take about 5 to 10 minutes,
right?
To process, not an hour and 15 minutes.
I would have been so hot. I was so hot for you. I was so mad at that situation.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's something that could be that's never happened. That's something that sounds like it could have been avoided too. We do have a caller because we're close to like the first end of the first block. So we could take this caller and we'll see like you can get into it more after commercial break. It's a caller from the 310 area code. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from tonight?
Well, this is Herbert Seward, Crazy Legs from the 5th.
Crazy Legs, what's going on, brother?
Oh, what's up? What's going on, man? How you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I appreciate you being on. I know that Christy actually got into it a little bit, but you had posted about the announcers, and I know I'm sure Rashad was going to get into that. I know we were going to talk about it. But were you there yesterday?
No, but I watched the live stream on Campus Insiders, and first of all, the live stream from Campus Insiders was probably the best internet quality stream of a HBCU show band event that I've seen. Mm-hmm. Really good job just covering bands like they're supposed to be covered.
Right. That's what I thought.
I was really surprised for the time, for the short period of time that they took up the actual request to cover the show. I hope they really do, get a chance to do other things besides just the Honda Battle of the Bands, because that could be a really good medium for exposure for bands in general. Having, just outlets like that are, willing to just specialize and cover events like that. So, the announcing. The only thing I can tell you is, folks, Christy knows me, and I pretty much, when we marched, the announcer was part of the band, essentially. You have to work with the band in order to build a rapport with them. with the band, so you can do the shows the way you need to have them done, and have the shows transition smoothly the way you want them to. And it just seems like that art form has just gone the way of the dodo. There's just some things that we saw. I mean, not just this Honda Battle of the Bands, but just in general over the last decade, actually, that has really been, it's indicative. It's indicative of how, where the craft has gone in both positive and negative terms. And it's something that, it was readily apparent yesterday. Folks that were following me on Facebook, I was following Christy's feed, and I was kind of clowning the entire time. I was joking, but Mr. Beard, it was really serious, because it's just like, it takes so much away from halftime performances when the crowd sees that, and then you hear an announcer that has absolutely no clue what they're doing, completely screw up a show. And it's for those of us that have had to go through that, it's pretty infuriating. But I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, so I have to put you. So I'm so glad you called in, and we can put it out there. And I'm sure, I guess we can have, because we got a couple minutes before the first commercial break. What announcer, what school, jumped out at you the most? Because I'm sure there was a couple, you know what I'm saying? But what schools, jumped out at you the most yesterday, where it was just oh, man, what was, which one of them, or which a couple of them that actually were we talking about here?
Well, the first thing is sometimes you want to leave the game of one-upsmanship alone, certain venues. And I think almost every announcer, with the exception of the first act, which is Mir and Lincoln, really kind of fell into that trap. Announcer, we could have did without. Jackson State's announcer, the announcer himself was actually, he was actually kind of, staying within the framework. You could tell he needed a little bit more work with the ensemble. But as soon as he got off, and the young lady that was doing the announcing for the dance routine came on, was just like, okay, really, And just the fact that she kind of tossed BBD and the Holy Ghost in one sentence in the middle of a show, And
it was not the business.
Yeah, and the crowd was just like, okay, well, what in the heck are you talking about? So, and it's just, I think the big three, Tennessee State, Bethune, Jackson probably were the closest to being the most cohesive announcers with their shows. They had a specific framework that they normally stay within. They normally work without kind of work from a script. They got traditional things that they do with their shows. So those shows were kind of, were pretty straight.
What did you think about Prairie View?
With the exception of the young lady. Prairie View, Prairie View needed some work. And I think Prairie View, it's kind of messed up, because the show itself was actually pretty solid. Drill routines and stuff and formations was really innovative. But, you didn't hear really too much mention of that, except for the eye of the storm, and by that time the lady was just trying to save it. And it was just like, you're not really doing a good job of saving it. So, I think what we're commonly seeing, in shows, at least the shows that I've seen and observed, is that, it takes time. It's something that should be worked on in the off season. It's something that, somebody can't just pick up and just, okay, well, we need you on the mic for this show, and you just Joe Blow coming in off the street for to take over the mic, and it shows. It shows.
I definitely know. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to just say I thought Lincoln's announcer. I think we know him. A lot of us that frequent the fifth quarter know him as Mir. Essentially. He did a really good job. The show was structured. He was very, he hyped the band up enough but he wasn't the focal point, and that's what you want. So I mean, it like I said, I think it was kind of apparent to the folks that were there in person, and the folks. It was especially apparent to the folks that were watching on the live stream, because I was talking with a lot of folks that was watching on live stream. They were just, what are these folks doing? I mean, but again, it is what it is.
Yeah, man, really cool. I know because we got a couple of seconds here before the commercial break. I know that, we definitely agreed about, what we thought. But what do you think? I mean, do you think definitely I don't know, it should be something in the off season or something, but should it be a school? Should it be something that's taught? I mean, it's a whole list of things as far as, like, what it should be. What do you think, like, as far as, like, how should we attack the issue?
Do a webinar or something.
I would. Well, I mean, honestly, that's something that evaluating that every year. I mean, if you're doing show evaluations and things of that nature. I know when I was marching at Bama State, my director was Danny Davis. After every show, we had film study every Monday, whether we got waxed or whether we had a good show. From the announcers all the way down to how we executed the drill to how we sounded, and we got evaluated on it. I mean, that's what should be happening, but that's kind of on the directors.
Yeah,
if somebody was, their good graces, decide to put together a school or a webinar or a seminar or a web course for show band announcing for HBCUs, that'd be great. But ideally, that isn't.
Well, we always like to do first here on the Marching Podcast Network. We're about to go to a break. I'm going to mute you guys' microphones, but that's definitely something that we got to put in the wraps, webinar or something here. But yeah, we always like to get the ingenuity going here at the Marching Podcast Network. So we'll be back with the Prunalysis, second part. We'll dig into a little bit more what we thought, other things that happened, interesting. We'll get into my take at the end. But you're listening to the Honda 2016 here on the Marching Podcast Network, 90 Degree Show. We'll be back after the wonderful word from our wonderful sponsors.
To the Marching Podcast. Hi, this is Nessa. You need to do Marching Podcast.
Having an anniversary party, birthday party, or better yet, you're about to marry that special someone? Liquid Effects Photography is the perfect choice to immortalize all your most special moments. With 10 years of dependable professional service that can deliver from the conventional to the best in cutting-edge technology and creativity. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. We serve the entire upper Midwest and will travel further upon request. Come check us out at liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Or call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556.
Double Time Entertainment. Our passion is music and promoting HBCU marching bands as well as high school marching bands through high-quality movie videos and photos. We have worked with BET, Yamaha, Ludwig, Honda Motor Company, and been featured on CNN and Lifetime Network's series Bama State Style. We also help and orchestrate Battle of the Bands with marketing and promotions, and also became the official media team for the Queen City Battle of the Bands in Charlotte, North Carolina. Join Double Time Entertainment on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and now new on Periscope. Music lovers are noteworthy.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Hey, this is Melita Wilson, alumni of Bethune Cookman University in Daytona Beach, Florida, founder of HBCU Campus Tours, listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
We're back, 718-664-6025, listening to the 90 Degree Show, the 2016 Honda. We're coming back with the Marching Wildcats of Bethune Cookman. I like the little song that they playing. They played it, actually, do-do-da-da. I like the little joke. I like that song, man. I don't know what it is. I have to ask Rashad or somebody, but I like that. They actually played that as their concert piece, if you will. That's what they like to call it down there. Slow piece, concert piece, whatever, as I unmute the microphones.
That's Shane
what
by
is it,
Rashad? Shane by Tyrese.
Shane. Okay, okay. Yeah, really like that song. They played it all year. A couple bands have played that song this year. But definitely was really, really exciting. I got my man Crazy Legs here. I just wanted to see if you had anything. I know we were going to the commercial break. I wanted to see if you wanted to say anything else about the event before we got into the pre-analysis.
Well, I think, besides the fact that I think Jackson State could have probably performed in like 7 of the 8 slots, and everybody would have been happy. But I think the event, honestly, a lot of folks that I've spoken with, I know Christy and a lot of folks, I know when we saw the lineups come out, folks were like, man, there ain't no heavy hitters on here just yet, for this year, man. I don't know if we're going to go or we're going to cover it or people going to pay attention to it. And it turned out to be a pretty good event. For the lineup that was there. It's kind of hard to, kind of put in the same class as some of the past lineups that Honda's put out. But, it was pleasantly surprising to see some of the smaller schools. First it was really good to see a school like Lincoln get some shine, because it's not often that you see a program in the Honda that's, very new and pretty much at the very beginning cycle of its growth. And it's cool to see something like that and see that type of recognition. Other than that, I thought it was a really put together, Honda was Honda. It was pretty good, well put together. Now, the folks that were at the Dome that went through the nightmare stuff that Christy was talking about that I was listening to, see, those of us that had the web stream didn't have to worry about that, but that's another story.
Yeah.
It was cool for me just running the Campus Insider stream on my big screen and just watching it.
Right, right.
So do you
a couple
think
people were doing
the
that.
Honda from now on?
Honestly, I think the Honda has gotten to be an event. So a lot of people go to the Honda, but don't just go to the Honda for the Honda. They go to the Honda for camaraderie, and they go to the Honda for the experience of, whether it's reconnecting with old colleagues, bandmates, classmates, whatever. I know for those of us that have been in the Skybox, that's what the Skybox is about. We cover bands and we really enjoy the fact that we're there covering bands, but a lot of it is the camaraderie of seeing people that we haven't seen in a long time. I mean, if I could compare it to something, it's just like seeing the Magic City Classic every year for Alabama State, Alabama A&M. You might have people there that have not seen a game in ages, but they'll come out to the Magic City Classic and just socialize and enjoy the event because it's become an event. Now, what I will say is that if Honda stays in Atlanta, there may be. I mean, you have enough of a fan base there in Atlanta, and Atlanta's so centralized that I don't think you'll ever have a really, really down year in terms of people attending because, there's a built-in fan base for it.
Ooh, hey, okay. Somebody get that door. Car door. You know what, Herb? There has been low Honda attendances because, like, I remember 2009, it was very low because you think about it, everybody wanted to go see President Obama's inauguration because that was in January of 2009. And then the economy was terrible, and so people didn't have jobs or had, low-paying jobs and couldn't travel. So, I mean, the Honda has had low attendance, but still low attendance is pretty darn good.
Better than no attendance.
Right.
Right.
And I think Christy makes a really good point, is that under normal circumstances, I think the attendance isn't really that big of an issue. It's whether or not, now if you got Honda going up against, just like she said, going up against an inauguration of a president or an event that's going on that draws,
that was different.
Yeah, that draws people nationally or just other mitigating circumstances, and that's another thing. But I know I've kind of, even after the show, I've just seen people and heard rumblings that, folks at Honda might consider other locations. And I was like, somebody on social media that I'm friends with suggested that the Honda be moved to Vegas for 1 year. And I'm like, I don't know. No, man, I don't think that's going to work,
No, I mean, geographically, it would be ridiculous for that. But Vegas, man, that's like everything's over the top. Like, it's like $30 just to go to Walmart. You know what I mean? I think I remember I was there and it was like $29.99 tax. I was just trying to go get some sunglasses. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, so everything on top of that, you talking about college students. That would be losing. That would be a losing type of thing.
Vegas would take over more than the event itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you calling in, Herbert, man. Herbert, right? Herbert Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart, Seward. Yeah,
I know that. I think I found you on Facebook. You had posted something. But yeah, that was really, really cool. Really appreciate you calling in, touching base with us. I want to give as far as the time goes, I want to let Rashad get into the pre-analysis. Rashad, you still there, man?
I'm still here.
Okay. Go ahead and let us know, man, what you thought about the event.
All right, good stuff.
Right quick. Barney Smart, shout out to you, the owner, their founder of Double Time Entertainment. Christy, he just wanted to let you know that he's mad at you because you were scoping Alabama A&M and you stopped on the drill. So
No. Okay, so see what had happened was, I have Sprint, so I'm automatically losing. I have Sprint. And so the way my Wi-Fi was set up, yeah, I was losing. I'm sorry.
I know. It's that them tools. Boy, they be something.
Oh, whatever. How about you go to a Honda? How about that? I'm going to step your foot in the Georgia Dome. How about that?
It slipped out. But he also wanted to let you, just to say that he thought that JSU at Alabama A&M had like the best overall show. He thought Alabama A&M had the best sound. Power was between Jackson State and Bizarro State. Oh, I'm sorry, Alcorn State. I'm just reading. Best drill was Jackson State, and biggest disappointment was Bethune Cookman and Tennessee State. he also said that he actually had to wait an hour to park. So my brother, y'all was in line. My man was waiting just to park, and he said he missed everyone. Yeah, because he was actually there, but he actually missed everyone. So,
that
wow.
was such a cluster. You know what? Go ahead, Rashad.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead, Rashad. I'll go ahead and put you on the show. Give you the floor, man. Go ahead, man.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah. I don't see anyone else. I was just I was just about to say unless Bridget said, and then I go right to the chat room and Bridget says so. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you. We'll go and then we'll get into Bridget and all that. I'm sure probably towards the end of the second segment and then the third.
Hey, no problem, man. So okay. So again, as I mentioned earlier, I really honestly missed half of it. So I'm really going to focus most of my time on the 4 bands that I did see. But I did, catch up with everything, and, I did watch the first 4 bands. I will go ahead and get my 2 cents in on those just to make it a full thing. So let's start out with Lincoln. One thing I will say about Lincoln, some bands are accused of not doing a Honda show, and you can't say that about Lincoln. I think that Lincoln went out there and just did the very best that they could. They did a drill. They had their dance girls come out. Well, first they had the drum major come out and do his best. They did a drill. During the dance routine, they made a $sign, and then they made the $sign move, and then they brought out, the staff member, and he played not 1 but 2 trumpets, and then they brought out Music Soul Child. So as far as Honda is concerned, to me that was a Honda show. I really think they sat down and just said, hey, guys, this might be our only chance out here. We want everybody to know who we are. So from that perspective, my hat's off to them. I think they worked hard, and I think people, some people will remember them. Was it good? No, it was not good. I can't really speak too much from the sound of them because I'm just, limited to listening to them in the car here. But the drill needed heavy work. If you watch the video, you can really see that it's almost to the point. It almost makes you wonder, like, do they go to football? Do they perform at football games? It's kind of like a Talladega type of thing. Like, do they? No, I'm serious. I'm not really trying to be hateful. I'm just saying when you look at the drill, it's like, wow. It's like these drills are really kind of not good. I wonder, do they have the opportunity to perform on the field that often? But from the standpoint of them really working hard and really doing an entertaining show, I got to give them props. I personally thought the announcing was over the top a little bit. So when you were pointing out announcers that you thought were too much, and then you say, well, Lincoln's announcer was a perfect example of one that was good. I kind of felt it was a little over the top, particularly at the end, where it's like, God bless America. God bless everyone.
God bless you. God bless me. God bless my cousin.
Right.
God bless America. And my man went to America. I was like, brother, you didn't know the target audience, did you? You went to the wrong spot, brother.
And it was cool. I don't have any problem with what he was saying, but he was kind of yelling it out. And I'm not really hype about announcers yelling. I think there's a certain level that you get to, of excitement, of speaking loud, but not necessarily really yelling. And the main thing they had going against them was the fact that the band wasn't that loud versus the sound of the mic versus the announcer and Music Soul Child. Yeah. That really hurt them both ways. So I'm done with Lincoln. All right, let's go on to, I believe, Alcorn. I had to watch the video. I had to guess the order based off of who was in the background when each band was performing. So I think Alcorn was next. And drum major entrance was very good. I really enjoyed that. They got some tumblers over there doing a lot of backflips and things like that. I'm really not normally into so much of the tumbling for drum major entrances, but I got to give them credit. I thought it was very good. I thought that drill was really good. And I think really the thing that people were most excited about with Alcorn is this Alcorn is just so freaking loud. I mean, they were really, really loud. I could even tell that on my phone. But at the same token, I think I'm almost positive that Alcorn pulled. No, I'm positive that Alcorn pulled a Howard. I mean, because that band was huge. They were enormous. Yeah. I mean, there had to be 300 people on that field. And so let me just point this out.
This year, though. I felt like they were big this year, though.
But were they bigger than Jackson State? I mean, good God, they were when they made those slants on the field. I mean, they took up the whole field, you know. So let me just point this out real quick, Christy, since you mentioned, you know, when is Hampton coming to the Honda. I'm just saying, when Hampton comes to the Honda, I'm going to have my uniform, so I won't be doing the analysis that year because apparently anybody can march in a band in the Honda. So if anybody else can do it, I'm going to be doing it. But, yeah, that band was huge. So if I'm wrong, I apologize to you guys sincerely. I just don't remember you guys being that big this year. I mean, they're huge. But they were really, really powerful. I thought they did a pretty clean drill. I thought it was interesting they had 2 dance girl songs, and they brought out both sets of dancers kind of like they were like different groups. I didn't quite get that. But maybe they were different groups because somebody had mentioned something about a dancer group that was from Mississippi.
So they had the girls, the dance girls, the Dancing Dolls, not to be confused with Southern's Dancing Dolls, but there's this show called Bring It that's on Lifetime about And so that was one of the groups. So, you know, it was like high school age kids and middle school age kids because but people know them, people know that group because of the show.
Gotcha. Okay, I thought I did hear them say the Dancing Dolls. Okay, so that makes sense now.
And then the second group was the actual like Alcorn Golden Girls. So.
Oh, gotcha. Well, Alcorn show was very good up until that dance team, and then the dance team, in my opinion, that just fell off. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what it was. What was it? I don't know what they were doing. But
you mean Southern, but Alcorn's dance or the girls dancing?
The actual the whole band dance.
Okay.
I mean, it looked like they were making instructional videos about how to assemble something. You know, I mean, it just I didn't get it. So great show up until then. So let's go ahead and pop over to and of course the blowdown was very powerful. But once again, I would really say I think the thing that really impressed people about Alcorn was just their overall power, and they sounded pretty good. Let's pop over to Prairie View now. I think Prairie View had a pretty decent show. I think they had a good sound overall, and with Prairie View, let me go ahead and state this. I think that this is one of the best Hondas that I've seen where you didn't really have a lot of bands where you're like, I don't think they necessarily deserve to be there. You know, I think that almost everybody that I saw should have been there. Like, that was a pretty good show. Now, Prairie View has some things going on with their formations, like they made Texas or something. And it was
like Texas with like a star in it or something.
Yeah, Texas. I guess they made Christy. Did they make the symbol from what is it? Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, they were doing some kind of symbol. I don't know.
It looked like the logo for the Astros for a second. Like it looked like that for a second.
That might have been what that was. See, you know
maybe
what?
That's
we
what
have
it was.
to take all this time to decipher somebody's formation. Maybe, just maybe, you might be doing it wrong.
Just maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. The number one, the drill should be clean enough that people should be able to determine what they are. And I'll mention this again with Tennessee State. But also, you know, your announcer needs to do a really good job of making sure your audience understands what it is that you're looking at. Because if you're spending all this time on your show to make a formation, people need to know what it is because it's extremely important to the show. I thought overall they did really well. I unfortunately can't really judge them as far as how well they performed overall in the top 8. I mean, I just thought they did a good job. It's just I can't really compare them when I'm looking at video versus, you know, the real thing of the last 4. Alabama A&M was really that same type of place. I thought they had a very good sound. I thought Alabama A&M and Prairie View both had really great sounds. And I want to give a shout out to Mario Warren. I thought his performance of the mime routine was just fantastic. So Mario, I know you're listening here. I just want to let you know that I thought you did a great job with your mime routine. That was awesome.
That was him? That was him out there?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, snap. Well, that's crazy.
No, that was not Mario out there.
Oh.
See, you know what?
Christy,
y'all
why you do that? Why y'all
ain't no
with
Christy.
her?
Ain't no Christy. See, y'all messy. Y'all the ones. Y'all the main ones.
So it wasn't. Okay,
No.
yeah. You said hell no, that wasn't me. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Mark. See, I didn't know, but yeah. Rashad, you got
the handle is prune juice, man. The handle is prune juice. I tell it like it is, but that doesn't mean I don't throw a little sarcasm in there every now and then.
Sorry, I really thought that. I was like, is that him? I was like, I didn't. Yeah, my bad, man.
The mime thing was pretty cool, though. I like some of the stuff that they did. Let me see here. But once again, it's just kind of really hard for me to judge. I did like the fact that they pulled a gremlin. And this is something I hadn't seen Grambling do in a little while, actually, but which is performed to both sides of the field. I just think that Honda is a prime place to do that. You know, you got people coming to see you, and you know, a lot of times, really winning the Honda is really just about bragging rights and what the audience thought the best of. You know, who the audience thought was the best. So performing to both sides of the field, I think, is a really good way to really get everybody involved in what you're doing. So I have to give them props there. So great job to Alabama A&M. All right, now let's go ahead and kick over to the bands that I did see. First of all, starting out with South Carolina State. I did not see their drill. What I did see was their slow song. We walked in on their slow song, and I thought they sounded really good. I was just kind of disappointed that there was nothing happening on the field at all during that time. Like, it was just nothing. You know, maybe other bands are guilty of that as well, but I just really noticed it with South Carolina State. Like, they're standing still, they're playing, we're sitting still, and we're watching them stand still and play. And it's like, somebody do something. You know, I always used to like it when Bethune Cookman's drum majors would do a little routine during the slow things, you know, or I think South Carolina State's flags were in the back, so that was something, but it would have been nice to have something in the front, that we can really draw our attention. Okay. Oh, no. Excuse me. There was something going on, Joe. Cookie and Lucius were sitting on a throne in the corner of the field doing nothing.
I wanted to see, you know, it's funny you said that because I wanted to save that part for the middle of the show. Now, Christy, before you break it down, Rashad, Christy, what did you think about the episode of Empire?
You know what? My mom told me if you don't say anything, what's the phrase? If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Okay.
And you have never listened to that.
Shut up. Shut up, Rashad.
So yes, Rashad, I'm glad you brought that up because I kind of forgot about it. Yes, please pronalicize that, please.
Okay.
No, it ain't no pronounces needed. It's a fish sandwich at best. And there you go.
It's a question mark at best. I'm sitting there like, what are they doing? So they sat there during the whole slow song. I don't know what they were doing in the drill because I wasn't there, but in the slow song they just sat there looking at the band. It would have been better if they had maybe faced us and found a way that they could be facing the band and facing us somehow, maybe in the center of the band or something. But they were facing away from the band. I mean, they were facing away from us towards the band, and they did nothing. Then at the end of the slow song, Lucius, takes Cookie by the hand and walks her to the sideline, and then Lucius is gone for the rest of the show. So there was no point in Lucius coming out there whatsoever. Okay.
He had that flashback when his mama was drowning him, yo. He couldn't be in the same.
Oh, wow.
That must have been what it was, man, because he was standing over there chilling with the band the whole rest of the time. Okay. So from there, what happened was Cookie went out there into the middle of the dance routine. And let me just tell you, so that everybody is clear, there's no doubt, this was the low point of the entire Honda. At least for me, it was.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, she went out there.
Let me be clear.
Go ahead, Christy.
No, go ahead. You go ahead. It was piss poor, basically.
I mean, she went out there and step two, she did the two-step to their thing. It was no energy. It was just what is she doing out there? I mean, what was that? She just step 2 to the right. It's like R. Kelly was step 1, step to the left, turn the down. But I do the love slide, but it wasn't even that high. I don't know what was going on, man. I swear, South Carolina State, I mean, you had us in there wishing that y'all would just start making Nelson Mandela again. I mean, I was wanting Nelson Mandela to come up back on that field again because
that's what I thought. I thought about Nelson Mandela, man. I was like, I'd rather see Nelson Mandela, yo. But Cookie, Cookie, I hate to say it, she had, she picked up a couple LBs, you know what I'm saying, from what I last saw her. Because, they don't come back on until March, you know what I'm saying? And she got dark, yo. So I was like, that. But when she went out there and she started dancing with the band, yo, I lost it, man. I definitely was laughing. Because I was like, what is she doing? Because, Cookie was like, Cookie's gangster. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
She was hard. But she was very nonchalant. You know what I'm saying? She was like hot Cookie. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Man,
that
was
all
great.
the way baked.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, she was dancing like somebody's, 50-year-old mom in the stands, to dance. With the amount of space that they have in the stands. That's how she was dancing. And, I'm not really trying to hate on the performer so much, It's just the whole idea of it, that somebody just came together and just said, this is going to be a good idea. And then they watched it in practice and said, yeah, that's that thing that's going to get the house in Honda right there. That worked. That works. That's it. No. That was a low point for the entire Honda right there. And I really think South Carolina State needs to go back to the drawing board as far as their shows before they come back to Honda again.
That's 2 times, too, that we done been like, what were they doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So South Carolina State, y'all need to get kind of in the cut a little bit. Like, y'all need to wait a couple years to come back. Just saying.
I was shocked they got it. Well, okay, shut up, Christy.
No, I mean, it's true. That you're not saying anything wrong, Christy. I mean,
I was gonna say I was shocked they got picked anyway to come.
Yeah, I mean that's not hatred to them.
Like let me sip my tea like Kermit, because that ain't none of my business though.
But it's not really hatred. I mean, they have a new band director. They're rebuilding right now. They're changing their style up a little bit. It would not have been unusual for them not to, to go to Honda, even if they were doing well. You know what I mean? But there are definitely some other bands that could have been there. But let me go ahead and get out for South Carolina State because we might want to tell them some stuff in the future. So from there, Tennessee State. Okay. So Tennessee State faced away from us. First of all, the very first formation that Tennessee State made was a fishnet. We all know about them. Hang on a second, guys.
Lord, you did not put us on hold on a live broadcast.
Sorry, guys. We're driving home here. This is real. This is real prune juice of North Carolina right here. So y'all, please excuse the beeps and everything and the door slamming.
Y'all at the rest stop? I mean, what's good?
That's right. Well, we didn't all take the plane like you did, Krista. You know what I'm saying? We
Whatever, man.
But so Tennessee State, the very first formation was a fishnet. What I mean by fishnet is that you try to make some diagonals on the field, but then they are messy on points, which is unusual for Tennessee State, because I'm pretty used to Tennessee State drilling very well. From then on out, though, I thought personally they did a good job. I don't know, for whatever it is about me, I tend to like Tennessee State. People tend to say, oh, they kind of disappointed me. Like, I've heard that a couple of times on the times they perform. I thought they did a decent job. My number one thing I liked about Tennessee State was their song selection, and I think that everybody can agree with me on that. I want Tennessee State to DJ my next party. I mean, they were just hitting like, oh, that's a jam right there. That's a jam right there.
Right.
Like, I can't remember everything they played during their drill. I know they played the music to Martin Lawrence, and I've heard other bands play that. For some reason, it sounded hype when they played it. and then they made chill. Oh, it was cool. They made chill on the field, and then they on the stands they put on the video they put Netflix and chill, and they started playing Let's Chill. I was like, oh man, that's pretty dope right there. So I thought that was cool. They made the BET sign on the field. What else did they make? I can't remember what else they made, but they played.
The boombox. It was like a boombox.
Yeah, they made a boombox. Now, to me, it looked more. If y'all hadn't told me it was a boombox, I would have assumed it was a basketball court. But
yeah, the only thing that I recognized was like the handle. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is. Yeah, okay, that's what this is. Okay, cool.
I never picked it up. So thanks, Kristen. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Kristen.
I make it do what it do. I make it do what it do.
But overall, I thought they did a great job. And for me, the song of the day was Erykah Badu's "On and On." That junk had me singing up in there. We had Skybox was live when they was playing that. And they did it right. They played it. They hit the chorus twice and went into that bridge section. I don't know how the rest of the audience was doing, but we were live, and I'm sure the rest of the audience was singing that song as well. So it's a song I've never heard a band do, and I just thought it was, very well done. So my props to them. Tennessee State normally lets me down when it comes to their dance routines. They kind of remind me a little bit of Norfolk State, honestly, where it's like, wow, you guys have done a really good show. This is a great show. And then they get to the dance routine, and it's kind of like we spent so much time perfecting this show that we really don't have anything for the dance routine. But they didn't do that this time. I thought their dance routine was pretty hype. They got me crunk a little bit. So I have to give Tennessee State props on their show. My only complaints about them, I just don't think the marching was tight. Some of the formations, it just wasn't tight. It's not to say it was bad. It just wasn't locked in there. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. Rashad, you
yes, sir.
Hold on right there. Are you finished talking about Tennessee State?
Yeah, I'm done with Tennessee State.
Okay, so we'll do the commercial break, and then we'll pick up with the rest of the Prunalysis. And we got a couple of callers in the queue. I think that's Bridget. So we'll let her say what she wants. And then a couple of comments I read from. I'll mute you guys' microphone. But let's go ahead and do the commercial break here. The 90 Degree Show 2016 Honda Backtrack, if you will. We'll be right back.
Double Time Entertainment. Our passion is music and promoting HBCU marching bands as well as high school marching bands through high-quality movie videos and photos. We have worked with BET, Yamaha, Ludwig, Honda Motor Company, and been featured on CNN and Lifetime Network's series Bama State Style. We also help and orchestrate Battle of the Bands with marketing and promotions, and also became the official media team for the Queen City Battle of the Bands in Charlotte, North Carolina. Join Double Time Entertainment on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and now new on Periscope. Music lovers are noteworthy.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Need to write music and drill? Get it on the field. Outfit your band. Keep your administrator happy and still have a life. Encountering drama in the process, ain't nobody got time for that. Let block band music assist you with musical arrangements and drills to fit your band, and also the equipment, gear, and accessories to keep the visuals, music, and marching on point. Contact blockbandmusic@gmail.com and see how this worldwide minority-owned business can uplift your band.
This is Curtis from 80minutesofregulation.com. From referees' whistle to drum majors' whistle and back, your source for sports and marching and athletic music. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
We're back, 718-664-6025, the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network, bringing us back the Alabama A&M, marching maroon and white, talking about Britney Spears and womanizing dudes. You know what I'm saying? Dudes they ain't no good, y'all. And that's what they telling you. You know what I'm saying? 718-664-6025. Let us know what you thought about the Honda here. We have a couple of folks here in the chat room. I want to read from a couple of comments, and then we'll get back to the Prunalysis. Brother Warren said that him and Brother Smart, Brother Wright, the Bruz, Carter Wright, shout out to the Bruz. He said that him and Brother Wright are going to be doing the mime routine next year. So we'll definitely be looking forward to that. If Alabama State comes out on the hoverboard, Brother Wright and Brother Warren, they're going to get out there in the mime routine. That's how they're going to get them back. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be tight. Brother Smart said he would actually pay to see that. Brother Smart's in the chat room as well. So really, really cool. Oh, and then Brother Stewart said, take it easy on South Carolina State. He said it was, new staff, new culture, trying to change, so, of course, we all. And then Bridget thought that South Carolina State, had a really lazy-looking auxiliary. All right. So, yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just some other things here. But, yeah, good stuff, good people there in the chat room. Again, if you have a Blog Talk Radio account and you listen to the show, you can log in the chat room. Leave your comments there. We'll definitely read them on the air. I want to give you the rest of the time. Well, not the rest of the time, Rashad, but we do have a caller. I think it's Bridget. But go ahead and finish up the Prunalysis, man, and I'll throw in what I thought of the show after you.
All right. So let's. I'm gonna skip over Jackson State for a second there, just to build up that anticipation for you there, Joe.
All right.
So I'm gonna skip it over to Bethune Cookman. I really liked how as soon as Jackson State was finished, like Bethune Cookman started immediately. Like I will say that Jackson left the field on fire, and it was like a lot of hype, and Bethune Cookman started immediately. Like it's almost like when you're in church, and you have some preachers that if the choir does a fantastic job, the preacher would just hang out for a second. He's just gonna chill and let it die down, and then he'll start his thing. Because he wants his sermon to be separate than what's going on, and people to really hear what he's saying. But there's some preachers, it's like while the energy's going, they're gonna jump right in it. And that's what Bethune did. It's like they didn't allow that energy to go down. It's okay, here we go. So that was cool. But after that, the energy just kind of went down. We did the VCC and VCU and marched across the field. And also, I didn't say what they did. So they started dancing immediately. So that was cool. And then I thought the drum major interest was cool. Bethune Cookman's drum major interest is always cool. So let me just say that. But after that, they marched to BCU across the field. They made, one formation. I'm not sure what it was. That tends to happen sometimes. And then they played Shane, which was cool, but it was facing away from us, so I really couldn't feel the effect of it. And it was just a Bethune show, and it hurts me to say that because y'all have heard me say in the past that I am a Bethune Cookman fan. I love their uniformity in their marching. I love how good that they sound. But I mean, I'm gonna have to join the ranks of everybody else and say their shows are just way too predictable. I don't know when they're going to change that. I don't know if it's just they just need not to come to Honda one year. They just need not to be voted in one year for them to finally change up things just a little bit, so we can really say, wow, Bethune Cookman is awesome, because they are a great band. They do a fantastic job, but I don't know if they really appreciate the opportunity that they have to really entertain and just be that number one band every time. I don't know that this was the case, but I was told, like 2 minutes into the performance, oh, this is the Florida Classic show right here.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I don't know that that's the case.
They really don't care.
Told. Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Give us your best. Like going back to Lincoln again. I feel like Lincoln gave us their best. Was it great? No, but it was their best. And that's what Honda should be about. When you go to Honda, you should give your very best. So, but anyway, let's go on now. When it comes to giving us your very best, we started out. We end the show with Jackson State. Well, let me not end it with that. Let me just talk about these drum lines real quick. So, Joe, there was a drumline exhibition at the end of the Honda, and let me just say, Christy, that Cold Steel has me spoiled. They do.
Oh, okay.
Being from North Carolina and watching Cold Steel, a good portion of my life, I just don't like to see drumlines stand around. It's the most boring thing in the world, because none of us know what you're doing. And this is a word for all the drumlines. We can't tell if you're doing paradiddles or doubles. Can't tell. We can't tell if it's clean or not because we may not even be able to hear your snares. Sorry about Northwest. We may not even really be able to hear the snares though. Like in the case of South Carolina State, I'm sure that they were chopping it up over there. I mean, it's not South Carolina State. It's definitely one of my favorite drum lines right now. But we couldn't hear their snares at all. So you guys need to move. You know what I mean? And Lincoln's drum line did move a little bit. That was exciting. But for the most part, most of the drum lines stood still. Some of them played a couple minutes, and some of them played something that was like a minute long. So I was really kind of disappointed in it overall. And I really wish that Cold Steel had been there because I knew it would have been at least a 2-minute cadence, and it would have been hype all over, and somebody would have done a backflip and ran over a drum, and it would have been awesome. So shout out to Cold Steel. I wish you could have been there. All right, let's finish this up. Jackson State. So they started their show thunderous with incredible sound, and we all in the skybox were so hyped. Like, man, that's powerful. That sounds great. Then, as they got ready to play Blowing, they didn't play Blowing. And as much as we talk about bands that are predictable and, you do the same thing, here it goes, they're about to play Blowing, oh, God, I wish you would do something different. They did something different, and we didn't like it.
Well, that's not true. I mean, I liked it. Okay, go ahead.
It wasn't what you wanted, though. When you say, Chris, you often say, this band gave me life or gave me what I wanted. They didn't give you what you wanted. They did variations on a what's the name of that song they play? Y'all play?
Get Ready.
Get Ready. They did variations on Get Ready.
I think that it was written by Mr. Adams. I think it was written by Mr. Adams, and like if you hear it after you hear it's written by Mr. Adams, then it kind of makes sense because Mr. Adams is deep. You know what I'm saying? And he can go deep on it, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it sounded like. You know what I mean? I thought it was all right, but I'm glad that they were trying to do something different because that's basically a lot of what's going on in Jackson is that basically we had the same show year after year after year, So I'm glad that they were trying to do something different.
Yes, sir. Well, they just, I thought it was well written, but they just didn't deliver it for me. But then right after that, it came in to Get Ready, and it was strong again.
And Joe, that marching was flawless, man. As far as I saw, a tuba player somewhere messed up, somewhere. You know, but it's awesome when you can point out one tuba player messing up. You know, versus other bands where it's like, yeah, that whole line is there. You know, I thought that marching was really, really, really great. And they played something for their, I can't remember everything that they played for the rest of their song, but everything that they played was hype to me. But Joe, what really sold it for me was that dance routine, man. They came marching back towards us, and like as soon as they planted their feet, the left side of the band started getting down, man. We was like, oh, get it. You know, and you thought the right side of the band was gonna start dancing immediately, but it didn't. You know, they waited a second, it started playing another song, and then the right side of the band started doing it, which I thought was cool. You know, and then they come with the blowdown and everything. So I know I'm not saying a lot. I know I don't have a lot of details, but I just gotta say that, in my opinion, I thought that Jackson State was the best band. Now, let me say this real quick. And I'm gonna step on some toes here. That's okay. I'm from you. That's what I do. This is the third time I've seen Jackson at the Honda. This is the first time that I think they played like they deserved to be there. Now, the first time I saw them was a couple years back, and I thought they did a decent job. But I was like, was that Jackson State? Like, it just wasn't like, wow, that's Jackson State. That's the hype. And last year when they came, they had all these gimmicks. It was terrible. And I had them at the bottom of my list. Like, they were right above Howard on my list. And people hated everything I had to say and were saying, oh, you just hate Jackson State. And you need to do your research before you say something. Like, what am I researching before I say my comment? You know, but this year, Jackson State came out there, they did a gimmickless show like we wanted, and they won. And it was great. You know, and that's all they got to do. Go out there and just beat Jackson State. The other thing I got to say is that I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we can't hear you, but we run out of time, Rashad, man. We over the mark, man. I got to get this call in, 410 area code. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from tonight?
Hey, this is Bridget. How you guys doing?
What's going on, Bridget? How you doing?
Hey, Bridget. Hey, Chrissy. Hey, everybody. I'm doing great.
So what did you think about that? Were you there in Atlanta yesterday?
I didn't go. Let me tell you, it was so funny because I'm sitting here with I had my tablet, which I had the Campus Insider streaming. Which shout out to Honda for that. That was a really great feed. It really was. It was a great feed. And then I had my cell phone with Christy on the skybox, so I had my foolishness going on too there, laughing with them. So I had like two things going on. I was like, I feel like I'm virtually in Atlanta, even though I wasn't there. But I really, really appreciate Honda doing that live stream. They did an outstanding job with the live stream. Let me say that. But I think somebody in the Dome, I don't know if it was the Honda Corporation or somebody, I think they were blocking people's Periscope feeds. Because, Christy, you were going in and out, and it was saying something like, it had like user blocked or something, users being blocked or something, and you weren't the only one that was happening to. Yeah, you weren't the only one that was happening to. So most of your streaming didn't come through at some point. Like, I want to say the first 2, maybe 3 bands came through, then you were gone for quite a bit. But everybody in the Dome, I saw people trying to get on. It was like a message coming. It kept coming on. It says, like, user blocked or something. I was like, oh, are they blocking the feed? I think they are. So
what's that about?
Wow.
Yeah,
I thought it was just my janky internet, my janky provider.
See, you done threw Sprint under the bus. I got Sprint too, and they, you know how they are. But I don't think it was just Sprint because there were several people. I know of at least 4 people who were streaming who seemed like they had some challenges. Their feed kept going in and out.
Wow.
So, but you know what, guys, that I find funny, and Chrissy, you can probably attest to this. As I was watching the show yesterday, I kept chuckling because I was like, it's amazing how Honda has changed from the first Honda to this one.
Yeah.
If you think about the first Honda, everybody was so excited to be there, and everybody was, we represent HBCUs, we represent now SWAC, we represent this, we represent that. Everybody had their flags. It was like a big unity fest. But now it's like every man for themselves. It's like, whatever, forget y'all. I don't care what conference you come from. It's like every man for... And so I was like, I kept thinking about that yesterday. I was like, Honda has gone through so many changes, from the seating arrangements to how the bands come in. But I think most of the changes they have made has been for the for the better. So whoever they have on there, I guess their advisory team, I have to I say shout out to them because it's they've made some good changes.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do want to say, I want to go back to Lincoln for a second. First, I'm going to say, I think somebody posted was like, they had a drill train problems or whatever. Yeah, we had 3 feet of snow here last week too. I live 30 minutes from Lincoln. So for them to even put out what they put down with the fact that we have been unmovable, for instance, all of our campuses and schools have been closed all last week. For them to do what they did, great job to Lincoln. I can't even throw shade to them because I think that's the big thing that people forget about the bands that come from the north. Our temperatures and our weather don't always cooperate with us. Like, I would love to see Morgan there, but I'm like, even the staff, they're like, oh, my gosh, how are we going to practice in the blizzard? It's either you find an indoor facility, which there are hardly any, or you just going to be marching through the snow or not able to rehearse. So, yeah, so I have to give a shout-out to Lincoln. Yeah, I have to give it out.
I didn't realize you lived that close.
Yep, I'm 30 minutes there. The county that I live in Maryland, I'm in the northern suburb of Baltimore. So the county that I am we border Lincoln. So I can leave out my house, I would say not even 30 minutes. I can be right to their campus. Okay. Yeah, they're very close. They're very close to us.
But people in the north are always talking about how us in the south, we close down for everything. So they should have stayed open.
Yeah, but y'all, I think it's different. I'm originally from Alabama. And I've seen a little glaze of snow and everything shut down because you guys aren't used to it. Like that year Honda had that ice storm. Oh, my goodness.
Lord, don't talk that up. Don't talk that up. Don't jinx it.
You remember that, Christy?
That was the worst. The worst.
The world shut down. And I want to say, except for the whole state, they had like 30 snow trucks or something, salt trucks. I was like, what? But they're not used to that. So, yeah. We do shut down for everything, but, here, if we shut down, you better believe it's legit. 3 feet of snow, you're not going anywhere.
That's what's up. We got another caller. We got another caller from the 757 area code. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from tonight?
This is Manuel Powell, calling from Jackson, Mississippi.
What's going on, man?
Great
How you doing,
Emmanuel.
Manuel is one of our first scholarship recipients here with the Marching Podcast. He called in on National Sign Day for Marching Bands last year and told everyone that he was going to Jackson State from Nansemond River, right? Nansemond River?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So you were actually one of the people who performed out there on the field as we talk about the different bands. So how was, and this being your crab year and everything, how was the experience marching in the Honda?
It was very, breathtaking to see that many people in the big dome. And I've been watching Honda videos ever since I was in high school and, stepping on the turf and just looking out in the crowd. It's like, wow, I'm really here.
So that's actually really, really cool, man. I'm sure you were nervous. Do you normally get nervous before each performance?
Not really. I get nervous when I overthink it, but I knew we were well prepared and we were going to give a great show. So I was more excited than nervous.
Right. Now, the Boom also had an awards banquet or something like that. Was that in Atlanta as well?
The awards banquet? They had a talent show at the Honda.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a talent show where all the bands did their talent showcases.
Oh, okay. They had that. I know that there was something. I know that I was getting these Periscope feeds of the banquet, and I think that shout out to, and I wanted to say this earlier if I wanted to have the time. Shout out to Dow Taylor, Director Taylor, if you will. I think he got recognized for his service in the band. So really cool. But, I didn't know if that banquet was there in Atlanta or if it was in Jackson or something. I just know that I was getting these feeds from it. But, man, so how was there anything else like you want to let us know about the event? Now, I did see there was something that happened with some WT members and someone.
Oh, Lord.
It was something that happened. Do you know anything about that? Just throwing it out there. Do you know anything about that?
Because I'll tell you why. The tunnels are big, and if something was happening, it's going to be tight-lipped real quick for anybody that was involved. So if you weren't there to see it, you'll get like bits of information, and you don't know how accurate it is.
Right. Because, I mean, I heard like 2 or 3 things like that Jackson State got into a fight with 2 different schools. Then when like you see the video, it's like you can't really see it. You know what I mean? But it happened fast. But yeah, I wondered if like the word had got out or like people were actually talking about it there in the band, thing like that.
There were things said, but you get different stories every single time you hear about it. So about like an accurate thing of what took place, nobody really knows unless they were involved.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I was just wondering if you, but that's actually a good answer. Good answer. But yeah, man.
Spoken like a true politician.
I'm just saying. But yeah, but that's really, really cool, man. Man, I'm proud of you. So you pretty much you've completed the year. You finished. You guys don't have any more. Congratulations, you got through the year. I know I'm gonna chop it up with you this year. Talk about the first year experience. I don't want to, spoil too much of it here. But I did want, you to at least hit the air tonight and tell the folks what you thought. Anything else that stepped out, what was most memorable experience from the weekend for you?
I would just say the feeling that we had at the band after the show was unreal, like nothing we had experienced before. Because once the last note hit and it was all over, we knew that inside that we just put on a great show and that we pretty much took Honda. And we were feeling like, Bethune Cookman could have had anything. They could have had a dragon on the field. We still would have had it. We felt like we just brought everything we had. We put it into that performance, and that we just took the crown that day.
Well, y'all deserved it. Y'all deserve all the applause you got. You did an excellent job.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. You definitely made a good decision, and definitely let the world know your decision here on the Marching Podcast Network. So, I mean, it was definitely the bomb, man. We definitely made a good investment to you there. So, like I say, we'll definitely chop it up with you here in the upcoming season to let folks know how your season was, man. But definitely appreciate your call tonight, man.
All right, no thanks, no problem.
All right, 718-664-6025. Let me read. I guess I'll get a little 5 minutes here. Let me read about like what I saw. I actually, like I say, I was working, so I saw some stuff on and off. Let me start with Alcorn because they start with an A. I was excited for them because they spelled out their name. Like I was expecting them to do the ASU, and I was going to have an attitude, but they spelled out Alcorn. Now the spacing was off between the L and the C, but baby steps. We starting. So I was happy to see that. I'm glad you guys broke down DD4L because I didn't know who they were, but like they got like so much house, like people were screaming, and they have some nice uniforms too. Like the uniforms was tight. You know what I'm saying? I'm still kind of tripping out that they were like little girls though, because they look.
Well, they're
look
high
like,
school age.
Oh well.
They're high school.
Okay, so I guess that's a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, they still look kind of mature out there. So I was like, dang. So I thought that was like some of the Alcorn girls, and so I didn't really know what the joke. I saw a lot of people posting on Facebook that DD4L came in third place. So I didn't really know what the joke was. So now I actually got to see it. Alcorn keeps some tubas, so like they were cranking throughout the whole show. So I actually really enjoyed hearing them. And the dance routine was definitely kind of slow, kind of dead, but I did like how they kind of like walked off the field, kind of like they strolled off the field a little bit, kind of staggered off the field. I did like that. I was in shock now hearing that it's DD4L. Is that's just like having Music Soul Child singing. I guess having a guest dance performance works, but the fact that they got so much house, they got more house than the band, I don't know if that worked for Alcorn. You know what I mean? But they were powerful and loud, so, they get the thumbs out. I don't really have too much to say about the Boom. Like Manuel said it, they felt special afterwards. I was happy that enough people were saying that, the Boom had the best show or like one of the best shows. I was happy with that because every year, like I hear that they go, I want them to win, and then they'd be like, oh, well, no, A&T won this year. Damn. So I was happy to hear that the Boom showed up. Again, I knew that the drill was going to be on point, but I didn't know how the dance routine was going to be, but I thought that they did well. I knew it was a hateration about the fanfare, but again, if you know Mr. Adams, like that would make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because Mr. Adams, he'll go and be like, what? Like, Mr. Adams, that's just too hard, man. It's like, slow it down for me, please, So I'm sure that was a lot of what was going on in the saying, like, what exactly are they playing? That's just Mr. Adams, yo. But I'm happy that they were trying to be creative, something original. And then of course we got the big "The I Love" because of our alma mater, our school song. "The I Love My Dear Old College Home." So they've been making that formation. It's hashtagged a lot, and now they made the formation on the field. So I was excited to see that. Just excited. Only thing that kind of scared me was when the dudes came on singing at the end. I was like, no, don't do that. No. Like no. Like right at the end. So like when they was marching off, I was like, yeah, don't count that. Don't count them as singing with the band. They were like there to clean up like afterwards. Like, yeah, don't look at them like that. Alabama A&M, I liked the show, and that's what made, like, it was funny. You talked about the mimes, Rashad. I really liked that. Like, that was the first time I actually was paying attention to the actual, I guess what was going on. I'm never really paying attention to, like, twirlers, anything like that, but those mimes were actually performing a show, and they were actually performing a skit, if you will. So I thought that was innovative. And then the fact that they were two young brothers, two young black boys doing that, that's not something that we normally see. So I thought that was very artistic of Alabama A&M. Shout out to the bros. But yes, okay, I understand that was not Brother Warren. But yeah, that might be tight if the directors come out there next year for the Magic City Classic and they do a little something. That would be tight. Moving along. But yeah, another show. Their drills were okay, but not as good, of course, as what I thought. And then, just like Chrissy said, the other thing was the solo performances. I think it's good when it's the student, but I ain't really tripping off the brother. He had the two trumpets. That was definitely gimmicky. And then Music Soul Child being louder than the band. I'm glad Lincoln was there, but it made me think like maybe there should be like a seat for not up and coming band, but a smaller band, or maybe two Hondas, or maybe just one seat where it's like a band like Smith or a band like Lincoln or a band like that could get that national exposure. Maybe a band is had a good year or something. They show up, so maybe that one seat should be specifically for them. I'm sure it'll be a conversation for later. Glad that we talked about South Carolina State because I got my laughs out on that one. But yes, the Empire theme, wow. I thought it was really funny. And then another thing, we got to stop, like, pulling things, like, on the field. So Cookie and Lucius had the two big brothers pulling them along. Like, we got to either find, like, a hoverboard or something, or we got to have something where we don't have, like, people out on the field spraying, like, smoke or actually pulling apparatuses. I like to see some type of mechanical, some thought process doing it. Because I think it's a little bit more we talked about earlier with the announcers. A lot of this stuff seemed like it's like last minute. Like they thought Friday night some of this stuff looks good. Or maybe they did it Thursday night and they practiced and it looked all right. But a lot of stuff doesn't seem like it's well thought out. So the Cookie and Lucius show, I don't know, man. I wanted to see Andre myself. I wanted to see why they didn't bring the sons out. You know what I'm saying? But thank you, Rashad. as far as the low point of the Honda, I thought that was actually the funniest when Cookie started dancing. I mean, that was great. But South Carolina State, thumbs down, definitely for that. Thumbs down, like seriously. Nelson Mandela, I prefer Nelson Mandela. That was my thing. Lincoln, I think I talked about them really quick. With Music Soul Child, I think they lost it with that. And having the other guy out there playing the two trumpets, I don't think that was necessary. Bethune, I thought Bethune was good. But again, nothing that really jumped out at you. I thought they did have a little bit more energy, a great display of execution. And like we talk about there, they got the Nintendo Tecmo Bowl uniformity going on. But other than that, is another show. We Are One, they did that. I thought that was cool. But again, not more to say about what they did. And then who I got left? Oh, Prairie View. Prairie View, the thing, I actually met Brother Zachary this week. So shout out to him. Prairie View, I didn't really... honestly, I thought they had a good show, but I thought old girl, like, stole the shine from the show. Like, I was excited that Curtis from 80 Minutes of Regulation, he tweeted, he's like, oh, we got a female announcer. And I was like, oh, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. But then, like, she just took the show. Like, she was talking way too much. And then at one point, she was like, PV coming, PV, you used to call me on my cell phone. I mean, she went right into the next song. I was like, damn, like, yeah, it just wasn't for me, and I thought she actually hurt them, to be honest with you. Last but not least, Tennessee State. I don't think they kept uniformity or continuity at all with their show. They started out with the New York Yankees logo, but then they said it was all about hip-hop. But then they made the Yankees logo, they made MTV, they made BET, and I didn't like they actually went into Let's Chill. That ain't hip-hop, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That wasn't hip-hop. So you start with the sports joints, and you say it started in New York, you probably should have stayed with the city's insignias, or like you should have stayed, you could have gone here. I thought that they lost the continuity of what they were trying to do. So I counted back for them for a little bit of that. And I think that was basically it. Of course, minus a whole lot of other stuff I wrote. I just tried to get it in before we closed out for the show. Chris, do you have anything? We got like 3 minutes before we got to close out the show. But do you have anything to close out the show? We'll be back next week for the Marching Podcast Awards. So I guess anything that we didn't say on here, we can bring back and talk about next week. But anything, Christy, that you want to say before we get off the show tonight?
Well, I thought it was a good event. I think that if your band wants to do a themed show, then you need to keep the theme throughout. That's all I'm saying. Don't do like half a themed show. So anyway, I had a ball. Good seeing my people. Glad we had a good conversation tonight. Yeah, it was fun.
Definitely, and hope to see you next week for our award show. Be our conclusion, if you will, for the 2015-2016 season of the 90 Degree Show. Rashad, anything before we close out tonight?
Yes, quick question. What happened at the beginning of the Prairie View show? When I watched the video, the drum majors came out, and then they stopped and started over again.
Oh, yeah. I think that's exactly what happened. Everybody was like, oh, epic fail. Everybody was saying that.
So they just started, and they just didn't start, or they started over or something?
It sounded just like, it looked just like what Rashad just said. Like, they started, and then in the middle, they stopped doing whatever. I don't know. But I hadn't heard. I hadn't heard any scoop on as to what happened or any behind the scenes info or any of that stuff. It looked just like you described it, though.
Okay.
That's what's up. So, Rashad, anything else, man? We got like about 90 seconds, but anything else, man, before we head out for the night?
I just want to give props to Jackson State because I definitely was looking forward to them disappointing me because they really have done a great job this past year in 2015. So to see them come up and do a great show and do the best show in Honda, I was very excited about that.
Well, that's what's up. We definitely want to have you guys in next week when we wrap up the season. Thanks you guys for being on the show. This has been 16 weeks. It'll be 17 weeks next week. So before we play the transition, I want to give a shout out to Rashad and Christy Walker. Give you guys a nice round of applause being on the show. You made the show better. Shout out to Ashley as well, Ashley Nicole being on the show. But adding good people definitely helps the validity of what we're doing, and we're getting money now, and we're actually talking to some folks, building scholarships, and we got my man Manuel down there at Jackson State, and looking for other folks. So I'll be in contact with a lot of you high school directors, and we'll start doing the 90 Chopping It Up show, sending that out too. So we got 30 seconds. Peace, love, and hair grease. It's all the time we have. Check out our website. Donate what's in your heart to themarchingpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, the lectures you deliver may be very fine, but I'd rather get my lesson by observing what you do. See you next time.
At National University, you don't just get a degree in teaching. You get a degree in
teaching me how to make a robot operate,
helping me get a standing ovation,
making me want to come back tomorrow,
helping us all leave our mark.
We know it's not just the degree, it's the degree to which you use it. Help guide the next generation with a bachelor's in elementary education. Learn more at nu.edu. National University, for the greater.